See for mayor.
Now there's one web portal for local agriculture radio programming in central Illinois.
IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
Local farm programming streamed live and archived to hear anytime.
IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
Hear the morning and noon farm shows with local agriculture news and interviews.
IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
Plus, hear all of your favorite agriculture farm shows, including RFD Illinois, AgriTalk, RFD Today, and the Closing Market Report.
IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
It's agriculture grown locally, streamed live, and archived to hear anytime.
IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
A service of the Miller Media Group.
Hear Clinton Maroon live play-by-play this season on WHOW, the Big 1520 daytime, 92.3 FM in DeWitt County and 106.5 in Bloomington Normal all the time. Plus streamed at DeWittDailyNews.com on the WHOW mobile app and Amazon Alexa. Plus, hear a best of Clinton sports broadcast Saturday mornings at 10, all brought to you by Warner Hospital and Health Services, Baum Chevrolet Buick, Love It Once More Thrift Store, and Mid-State Eye.
News time is 8 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Wednesday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. And we stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Here's what we have coming up for you in news on this Wednesday. Restored photos at the DeWitt County Museum are set to be unveiled this spring when the museum reopens for the season. Farmer City is getting out in front of the pending tariffs between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. We hear from City Manager for Farmer City, Taylor Baxter, in news this morning. A Piatt County School District is ready for a regular inspection this summer, and the University of Illinois Extension's nutrition education program is offering tips on how to best utilize eggs despite their high prices. Those stories all come up in news on this Wednesday. And again, we stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. The DeWitt County Museum's ongoing effort of photo restoration should be ready in time for public view when they reopen this spring. Director of the C.H. Moore Homestead and DeWitt County Museum, Joey Long, explains when guests visit on April 1st for the season opening, they will be able to view over 30 images that have been restored through the Picture Perfect Photo Project.
Also, when people come in April 1st, they'll have the opportunity to see the results of the Picture Perfect Photo Project. So more than 30 images were sponsored, and those will be on display on the gallery wall and then also possibly throughout the house, depending on how things go. But I do plan on having them all out so everyone can see them when we open. I think a lot of people are curious to see, to take a look at these images and learn a little more about the county's history through this visual means. Also, I've been working diligently on writing captions for all of these images. I really enjoyed the process. Some of them are a little straightforward and not so difficult to research, especially if someone wrote on the back of the image in 1882 to let us know who's in the photo and what's going on there and when it was taken. In other cases, I was left maybe a few clues, but needed to go on and do some more research, to narrow down exactly what was going on here in the scene and when it was. And then some of them, it was a fascinating photo, but no clues written on the back, and just diving in, researching, and figuring out what was going on with that particular image. But we have a great collection of photos now that people will be able to see.
The Picture Perfect project was made possible thanks to a grant the museum received and aims to restore photos that had previously been damaged by light, moisture, and other natural wear and tear over time. Long is grateful to community members that sponsored photos and made the initiative possible.
We talked about it before. Some of these images had been on display at the museum for quite some time and were falling to disrepair. Others have been tucked away in albums for years and haven't even seen the light of day. So really, really excited about unveiling all those pictures on April 1st. I was overwhelmed by the generosity of the community in stepping forward and sponsoring so many images and them taking an interest in the project. And, it just makes me feel good to know that so many people saw the value in preserving our history in this way, and that they were more than willing to step up and sponsor these things and help us get this project rolling and make it more successful than I had hoped. So I'm quite pleased about that.
Visit the C.H. Moore Homestead when it reopens for the season this April 1st. Get more information at chmoorehomestead.org. A national issue is at the front door of a DeWitt County community. On the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday, City Manager Taylor Baxter told Regional Radio a water project the city is taking up in the next fiscal year is requiring materials to come in from Canada. With tariffs likely from the three major countries of North America, the city is getting those materials ordered now before their costs go up.
We had another GA-rich project, and that was with our water treatment plant, and this is a pretty big number that was on the agenda, $212,977, and this one has a local impact, but also impact from the federal government and the tariffs, which I think is kind of unique. This one is a project that is a EPA federal grant, so we are getting reimbursed 70% for this project. Part of it is we're not going to be able to expel that money until next year's budget, which is May. But the unique part of this, there's such a long lead time that if we were to wait until May to finally approve this, the tariffs that are coming from Canada and Mexico, part of this project, there's pieces and components of it coming from Canada. So there's going to be a tariff associated with those materials. So what we decided to do is kind of make a decision is, okay, let's go ahead and order it now. We've been working with GA Rich on, the combination of timing of between budgets. They understand where we're at, but it's really a kind of a local impact to what's happened federally. It's kind of a unique situation. So,
according to Baxter, the project updates the filtering system of its water treatment facility.
It has to do with separation, so it's the filter media is what they call it, and it's basically just the cleaning of the water and separating the solids and all sorts of things there, chemicals. So very important, vital piece of the water cleaning process to make sure that it's drinkable for the community.
The Farmer City Council approved the purchase at its meeting Monday night. Baxter indicates Farmer City, like Clinton, is in the midst of a major upgrade of its water treatment facility. Every 10 years, school districts are required to have facilities inspected by the state of Illinois. Superintendent of Gordo Schools in Piatt County, Dr. Emily Widener, explains a team of architects will come to Gordo and give them a list of projects and upgrades that need to be made for them to stay up to code.
Well, we have something pretty big, actually, with our 10-year health life safety study. School districts are required to have this study done every 10 years, like I said. So our architect and a team will come out. They'll look at our buildings and our facilities, and they will make a list for us of projects that we need to complete to stay up to code and with regulations and laws. So they'll have a list for us of things that we have to complete and then things that we should consider in kind of priority order. So the part about this list is that we can use Fund 90, which is Health Life Safety, to pay for anything on this list from the architects. We can't use that money for anything else. So this will be a big piece of us planning for the next 5 to 10 years in terms of projects that we're going to need to do that we may not be aware of yet. So we have a list already of things that we need to do, things we want to do, and then once the architect finishes this study, then we'll know some of the other things that we may not be aware of yet that we need to plan for.
The summer inspection is planned to avoid interfering with the school's daily operations, and Dr. Widener points out if something is put on the list of projects, it has to get done.
We work with BLDD architects, so we've got them under contract to do that study for us, and then we'll use that list to kind of chip away at it over the next several years and work on the highest priority Well, it's just something that, we don't have a lot of choice. If that something gets on that part A of that list, we've got to make sure that we get it done so it can change our spending priorities. We're very fortunate that our schools, our classrooms are in great shape, so we don't have a lot of things that we need to do in terms of upgrading classrooms. Our family and consumer science room is a little bit outdated, so that's definitely on our list. But a lot of the things that we need to do are related to updating our athletic facilities. We're looking at our press box, our concession stand at the football field. Eventually, we'd like to get new bleachers in the gym. They're still, they're the wooden bleachers, but they're still in great shape and inspected regularly. So we're very fortunate that the projects that are kind of looming on our horizon right now are more things that aren't urgent and aren't related to like the educational setting.
Although this is Dr. Widener's first inspection in her time as superintendent, she does not expect to be surprised by any items they are instructed to work on by the architects.
We're always kind of looking and trying to be aware of things that could come up. We've had a roof study done, so we've got plans to make sure we're kind of updating the roofs as time goes on. And then you've got to look at all the kind of not fun stuff like sealing the parking lots and tuck pointing and those things that are just ongoing and never ending. So we have to plan for those things as we're looking for, things that are a little bit more fun to plan for, like a press box or a concession stand or new bleachers and things of that nature. We're just kind of getting ready for everything for next year already. At the end of the school year, we get really busy with graduation and prom and all the end of the year concerts and award ceremonies and things like that. So this time of winter, we're looking at making the high school schedule and making the calendar and figuring out what we need to buy for technology and our maintenance and repairs. So it is really kind of a push right now to get ready for next school year. For the end of the school year really takes up all of our time and focus.
Cerro Gordo Schools recently underwent a multi-million-dollar renovation of its facility in 2020, which is why Dr. Widener does not anticipate any surprises in their inspection. You can keep up with the latest from Cerro Gordo Schools by visiting cgbroncos.org or find them on Facebook. Egg prices are at an all-time high, and a University of Illinois Extension educator is hoping to offer some tips to make those commodities go farther. Caitlin Mellendorf at the University of Illinois Extension in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties indicates eggs are not only a great source of protein, but they used to be a very affordable protein. That obviously has changed, but there are substitutes in baking recipes you can turn to.
Yeah, like it was such an affordable source of protein, and that has changed in the last couple of years, and so it is definitely a more expensive protein than it has been, ever probably. And so I wanted just to touch on, what can we do when maybe you're used to having eggs regularly, and maybe they just are not something that you want to spend the money on. So if you are looking for a baking substitute, which, if we were planning to make banana bread or you want to do muffins, there are some options for baking to use something else, or either like replace part of your egg recipe. So if your recipe includes maybe 2 or 3 eggs, so rather than using all 2 or 3 as, full eggs, maybe you use 1 or 2 of those as a substitute in some of these options. So
Mellendorf recommends flaxseed. She points out you don't need too much of it, and however, it is a very good substitute. Additionally, cooking sans eggs is becoming a very popular trend.
One thing to look at would be making like a flax egg. So a flaxseed meal. So it's the flaxseed, it's ground up, and when you add it to water, it gels up. So you would measure about a tablespoon of the meal to about 3 tablespoons of water. Let that sit for about 10 minutes. It starts to thicken up and kind of congeal. And it's a good substitute for 1 egg. So I don't recommend using it for all of your eggs in a recipe, but it's a good option for that. So I actually did that this weekend. I had a boxed muffin mix that I was using. And so it called for 2 eggs. And so I used 1 whole egg, and then I used 1 flax egg is kind of what we call that. So that is one option for that. Another is if you are looking just to get rid of the egg entirely, there are recipes for cooking without eggs. And so there's actually a banana bread recipe with no eggs from a colleague of mine up north. And so her recipe, I'll share it with everybody here so you can find that. But it's using things like vinegar and more baking soda or extra banana to add that extra moisture and give some structure with the extra leavening that eggs can provide with that vinegar. And so it's unexpected. It's not going to be quite exactly the same, but it will work for if you're just needing that banana bread fix. It can be done.
According to Mellendorf, plant-based options are also growing in popularity. Tofu is a popular substitute for eggs.
If you're looking for eggs in terms of just like cooking, like you want scrambled eggs in the morning, you want to add them to a burrito, what do you do there? And so there's a couple of plant-based options that might work for some people. One of those is using tofu. I know actually that's what I had this morning was a scrambled tofu. So it's I like using a firm tofu rather than like an extra firm or an extra firm, so that you would just kind of tear the tofu block into chunks. And then I do a little bit of nutritional yeast, which adds that yellow color, a little bit of paprika and turmeric for, again, that more yellow color of the egg. Add a little bit of, salt and pepper, some soy sauce if you want that kind of savory flavor. And just kind of cook it up the way you would a scrambled egg. There's also recipes using chickpea flour to make like an omelet. That's not something that I've tried, but I've seen a lot of folks in more of the plant-based space use that as an option. Still has good protein, which is the important piece, right? When we're looking at eggs, tofu and the chickpea flour are both good protein substitutes. So again, not exactly a perfect substitute, but gives you that mimicking kind of look. If you're looking for an egg for breakfast, for scrambled or an omelet, it's an option.
Mellendorf has much more to offer at the Extension website, extension.illinois.edu/DMP. News time is 23 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Wednesday. We'll take a break, back with more to wrap things up on the morning show.
We value your trust in us. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. Yes, our goal is to earn your trust each and every day. That's why we have prices posted for each car, truck, and SUV, new or used, on our lot, or on our website. Currently, we have a great selection of new and used Silverados priced to move in 1500, 2500, or 3500s. Come see us and all our inventory. Baum Chevrolet Buick. We want to be your trusted transportation option. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
News time is 24 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Wednesday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. A trade war between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico could raise gas prices. Tuesday afternoon, Canadian President Justin Trudeau announced 25% retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. The move comes after President Trump slapped the allied countries with 25% tariffs. For Patrick DeHaan at Gas Buddy, the moves will only force large companies to pass on the prices to everyday consumers.
Yeah, it really is. People like you and I, a lot of those big oil companies, a lot of the refiners are simply going to pass this along. They really don't have the stomach nor the profit margin to be able to digest anywhere near the amount of tariffs. So the next time or a couple of weeks from now, we will start to see somewhat of an impact on gas prices. The only good news is that the tariffs are slow moving. That is, they impact Canadian oil, which takes weeks to get down here from Canada and then to be refined. It does take some time, but those in the northeastern United States will not be as lucky simply because the tariffs there are on refined products like gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel that are badly needed in the marketplace. But all in all, there probably will be some impact here. Not so much today, tomorrow, or next week, but over the next few weeks, these tariffs could boost gas and diesel prices by anywhere from 5 to 15 cents a gallon.
To minimize the impact on gas prices, the Trump administration charged a 10% tariff on Canadian energy rather than the 25% tariff. It's Commodity Classic Week in Denver, Colorado. The RFD Radio Network's Rita Frazier reports from Denver.
Hi, Rita Frazier reporting for the RFD Radio Network at Commodity Classic in Denver with the folks from Syngenta, Golden Harvest. We're talking with the Syngenta Corn Trait Manager, Matt Dolch. He is based in Nebraska, but Matt, an Iowa farm guy. So when we talk about the big announcement here today, this kind of announcement could mean a lot of good things for corn growers.
Folks that grow corn certainly should be excited. Syngenta is pleased to announce today the launch of DuraStack corn trait stack technology coming to the market in 2027.
Tell us about what makes it special.
DuraStack really provides the first triple BT protein trait stack for managing corn rootworm in the marketplace today. That's something that's exciting. We know that corn rootworm continues to cost farmers up to $1 billion annually in reduced yield and other control measures, and DuraStack brings forward a nice tool to help manage that. And I know we know that's something farmers are hungry for.
Really simplifying and getting those efficiencies in the spring of the year could mean big difference.
Yeah, the seed technology is huge, and being able to bring forward that type of control in a trait and trait package, that's something that really can benefit farmers. And something that we've noticed through our research is not only the improved standability, so we think about 2x more root node protection with DuraStack products, but also a 50% increase in corn rootworm control when compared to our existing Duracade hybrid technology. And then what do all farmers want to know about? They want to know about yield, man. We're adding 9.7 bushels per acre with our DuraStack trait stack technology under that moderately heavy corn rootworm pressure.
When will this be available for farmers?
We've undergone extensive testing and trialing with DuraStack in our Syngenta STEP research trialing, and farmers can expect to see that in 2027 available to the broader market. We'll also have some small on-farm trialing here in 2026, so next spring, a spring from now.
At the Commodity Classic 2025, Matt Dolch, Syngenta Corn Traits Manager, reporting for the RFD Radio Network. I'm Rita Frazier.
News time is 28 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Wednesday. Time now for a look at this morning's obituaries. 85-year-old Francis D. Webb of Clinton passed away March the 4th. Graveside services for 85-year-old Francis D. Webb will be at 10 a.m. Friday at Riverside Cemetery in Mahomet, with Pastor Jonathan Robertson officiating. There will be no visitation. The family has entrusted Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton with arrangements. Memorials can be directed to the Dementia Society of America. 80-year-old Uziel Ocampo Rivera passed away March 2nd at his family residence. A massive Christian burial for 80-year-old Uziel Ocampo Rivera will be 10:30 Thursday at St. John's Catholic Church in Clinton, with the Father Thomas Sizidlik officiating. Burial will follow at Woodlawn Cemetery. The visitation is 5 to 7 p.m. this evening at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton, with the rosary at 4:30. Memorials can be directed to the Uziel Ocampo Rivera Memorial Fund in care of Jacqueline Ocampo. It's 29 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Wednesday. Again, coverage of news brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. And we stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Coming up in sports this morning, high school boys basketball postseason rolling on last night. Sectional semifinal play. Monticello falls in a heartbreaker 2-2 in overtime from the Tolono Unity sectional. Also scores from around 1, 2, 3, and 4A sectional action from Tuesday night, and sectional action rolls into Wednesday as well. Matchups of those games as well in sports.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump makes a triumphant return to Capitol Hill, addressing a joint session of Congress last night. Referring to the attempts on his life, the president says, "I was saved by God to make America great again." Mr. Trump says prospects for an end to the war in Ukraine have improved now that both sides indicate a desire for peace talks. And he defends his embrace of tariffs, acknowledging that there could be some short-term pain leading to longer-term gain. First-term Senator Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan delivered the Democrat response to the president's address. During the speech, one Democrat jumped up, screaming and waving a walking stick in the air, refusing to sit down, had to be removed from the chamber by the sergeant at arms. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures in positive territory. Dow futures up more than 130 points. More details, srnnews.com.
Share 55.
With SRN Sports, I'm George Williams. In NBA action last night, chalk up another milestone in the storied career of LeBron James as he becomes the first player in NBA history to score a combined 50,000 points. That's regular season and postseason tallies put together. He surpassed the mark with a three-point basket early in the first quarter of the game. At age 40, he's into his 22nd season, already the top scorer all time in NBA history in both categories. Lakers went on to beat the Pelicans handily, 136-115. In other NBA action, it was the Spurs downing the Rockets, Bucks beat the Hawks, Warriors beat the Knicks. It was the Cavaliers over the Bulls, Timberwolves downed the 76ers, Spurs beat the Nets. Turning to NCAA men's top 25 action, not a good year to be the top-ranked team. Last night, number 1 Auburn fell to 22nd-ranked Texas A&M, 83-72. Another upset, Texas beat number 25 Mississippi State, 87-82. This is Western Sports. Other men's top 25 action, 16th-ranked Memphis, a winner over UTSA, 18th-ranked Purdue over Rutgers, 19th-ranked Kentucky over LSU. NHL action, Hurricanes down the Red Wings, Sharks winners over the Sabres 6-2, Lightning beat the Blue Jackets 6-2, Ducks over the Oilers, Flames beat the Flyers, Predators over the Bruins, Islanders defeat the Jets. It was the Stars winners over the Devils, Wild beat the Kraken, and the Avalanche winners over the Penguins. Well, you may have heard the last name of this young baseball pitcher, Jaden Agassi, a pitcher for Team Germany in the World Baseball Classic qualifying tournament being played in Tucson this week. He is the son of tennis legends Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf, who were in the stands when their son took the mound on Monday. And Agassi, not the only player in the tournament with a sports legacy. For Team Brazil is Lucas Ramirez, son of 12-time Major League Baseball All-Star Manny Ramirez. Other countries in the tournament are China and Colombia, competing for 2 spots for next year's play. This is SRN Sports.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. In a game heard on WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, Toutopoulos hit a putback layup as time expired in regulation to tie the game and send it to overtime, then outlasted Monticello in the extra session for a 53-46 win in Class 2A sectional semifinal action from Tolono Unity High School Tuesday night. Monticello jumped out to a quick 12-4 lead, but the Wooden Shoes got within 12-8 to end the first quarter. TTown tied the score at 14 in the second quarter, and the two sides played nearly even to the end. For Monticello, it was rebounding and free throws down the stretch. The Wooden Shoes tying layup was its 4th offensive rebound of the possession, and Monticello missed 6 free throws at the end of regulation that would have sealed the win. Neither team shot well from the foul line. The Wooden Shoes finished 11 of 26 from the line, while Monticello was 5 of 17. Matthias Rudolph and Tyler Blythe each scored 10 points to lead Monticello. Blythe's late-season resurgence earned him the Serve Pro of Piatt-DeWitt County's Player of the Game. TTown had 18 offensive rebounds that led to 17 second-chance points, and each team scored 24 points in the paint. Mick Niebrugge and Gavin Addis each scored 10 for T-Town. Niebrugge also had 13 boards. The Wooden Shoes shot 36% from the floor for the game. Monticello finished shooting 53% from the floor. The Wooden Shoes made 6 3-pointers to Monticello's 5. Ike Young had 7 points and 9 rebounds, while Nolan Benny-Kemper had 8 points and 8 boards for the Sages. Monticello ends its season at 18-14. Overall, T-Town goes to 25-10. They play for a sectional championship Friday night against the winner of Wednesday's contest between Warrensburg-Latham and Lawrenceville in Tolono. Class 1A boys basketball sectional semifinal from final action from Tuesday. It was Tuscola over Dietrich, 74-65, and Leroy downed Argenta Oriena, 66-38. Class 2A sectional semifinal action from Tuesday. Auburn outlasted Pleasant Plains 50-39, and Peoria Manual took care of Macomb 65-46. Class 3A sectional semifinal action Tuesday. Chatham Glenwood got by Champaign Central 56-45, and Metamora edged Kankakee 65-63. Class 4A sectional semifinal action from Tuesday. Normal Community topped Rock Island 54-44. Class 1A sectional semifinal action tonight. Peoria Christian takes on Illini Central tonight at 7, and GCMS battles Danville Schlarman at 7 o'clock. Class 2A sectional semifinal action tonight. Tri-Valley battles Sherrard. Williamsville takes on Staunton. And Warrensburg-Latham will battle Lawrenceville. Tonight in 3A sectional semifinal play, Lincoln gets Mount Zion, while Peoria takes on LaSalle Peru. Get sports anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. A wind advisory begins at noon today and remains in effect until midnight tonight. Chance for mixed precipitation today, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 46, west winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. A dusting of snow tonight. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 42 degrees.
This Hometown Illinois Radio Network report from the Commodity Classic in Denver, Colorado is brought to you by the Illinois Corn Marketing Board. We'll join